This topic is going to be on Deuteronomy 22:5. Women not wearing what pertaineth to men, and men not wearing what pertaineth to women. And which is basically, we got about 3 outs that's going to be speaking on the subject tonight. And we're going to probably wrap it up a little earlier tonight, but we're going to try to get some information out to y'all that's helpful. Okay. Let's see here. I guess I'm start off. Ezekiel, Esau.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. So, where I wanted to start off at, about, of course, a lot of brothers and sisters like to use Deuteronomy 22:5 as women cannot wear pants. And I'm just kind of going to something here. I mean, I'm just speaking on, how I feel about it and what I see in a few of these scriptures here. I'm going to go over here to Exodus 28:42. And basically what it says is, "And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness from their loins, even unto the thighs. They shall reach." And the reason why I'm bringing out that scripture is because I want to talk about the breeches. As one, this scripture is one of the main things that they use to say that women can't wear pants. But as we go and if we look up the word breeches, you will actually find that it actually means underwear. It's an undergarment that went under the robes. And Moses in Exodus 28:42 was told by the Most High to tell the priests to cover their private areas, which were under their robes. And I'm gonna go over here into Leviticus. Leviticus chapter 6 verse 10. And I just want to show to because I think a lot of people skip over this scripture, and it's just basically showing that the breeches did go under the the outer garment, the robes. Leviticus chapter 6 verse 10. And let's see, it says, "And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and in his linen breeches shall put upon his flesh, and take up the ashes which the fire hath consumed, which is burnt offerings on the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar." But I just wanted to basically show with that, them putting on like 2 separate garments, because see, the breeches, they just came down to basically your knee. We know the priest wasn't just walking around with breeches on. It just came down to their knee, to cover their private part. We all know that both men and women wore robes, which is another thing that I wanted to point out. The fact that they both wore robes. Men did not wear pants during that era. Men wore robes that they looked similar to women robes, and but they had a distinctive difference between the men robes and the women robes that allowed you to separate the two. And as we see, like in today's society, like the elite, we know that they're pushing for the gay agenda, a gay society. And what they do is they, for the most part, they take a lot of the men and make the men dress up in women dresses and also women pants. They do both. And I want to point out, if a lot of people saying that women can't wear pants, then what we have to realize is they have pants made for women and pants made for men, is what I'm trying to say.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, and if we all went into any type of shopping center inside a store, I mean, we should understand that if you was in a woman's section, of the store, you're gonna know that those things, pants, shirts, or whatever, are made for women that is distinctive from the men's. And I mean, if a man put on those things that's made for a woman, pants or shirts, they're gonna look very feminine. They're gonna look very feminine. And I say, would a man not look feminine if he wore a pair of pants and a shirt made for a woman? I would also interject. I'm not saying that this is in scripture. I'm just, putting this out there. But I would also say that even during that time, during the time of Moses, that I would believe also that women also wore an undergarment under their robes. I'm pretty sure they had something to go up under their robes that would cover their private parts. Even though I haven't seen it mentioned in scripture, I'm just, trying to use some common sense here. Especially during their times, during their cycle every month. I mean, I would believe so. I'm just pointing out these different things in scriptures, and basically just saying that you could tell the difference between during the time of Moses, when they wore robes that looked like dresses, okay, and then women robes, they both had a distinctive look, and also as today in these new times, you got pants for men and you got pants for women, shirts for men, shirts for women, with a distinctive look from each other. And that's all really I wanted to point out on the situation. So I'm gonna go ahead and let somebody else weigh in. And yeah.
Shalom to the Akeem on the line. This is the Akazakiyan.
Okay. Shalom.
Peace and blessings to all y'all.
Hey, how you doing? How's it going?
Doing good. Shalom.
Shalom.
I just wanted to wait. Shalom. I just wanted to weigh in just real quick and kind of along the same lines that Elder Yehuda was talking about. If pants were only for men, that would mean that a man could walk into a women's section of a store and pick up a pair of pants and it would be kosher or it would be good. But that's not the case, because women's pants are for women and men's pants are for men. Now, should a woman wear a man's pants? Absolutely not. Just like a man should not wear a woman's pants. A man's pants should look like what a woman's pants look like. So there's no question mark in the fact of what's for a woman is for a woman and what's for a man is for a man. So just like the elder was saying about the robes back then, and from what we can see, the difference in the two, women's look one way and the men's look a different way. So it shouldn't even be a question. I've heard this point debated times before, and it just doesn't make sense to me, because again, if you can walk into a woman's department and pick up a pair of pants and put it on, and it'd be good, then that would make sense. But that's not the case.
Right.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Hallelujah, brother. I would, can I interject something? I got a half a voice.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 22 and 5, it explains that it does not say that a woman should not wear pants, that she should not wear something that is of a man. So in that scripture, it tells a whole lot on the men attire, especially the high priest, because they walk from the altar, and during the time of sacrifice, they had to have something underneath their garment, underneath their garment, to not show their private. And women were to wear them whether they were, whatever they were doing to cover themselves up. So, Deuteronomy 2 and 5, if anyone has it, got time, want to read it, fine. I want to say, shalom to everybody, and that Yahweh be with you and your family. I'm a little bit ill, and I'm going to just kind of get out. So, keep me in your prayers because you're in mine. And remember, we are the remnant. Don't forget.
Okay.
Shalom.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. I guess that's all I'm gonna go. And first of all, when we talk about pants, and then we try to bring forth what pants were back then and pants are now. Pants back then they wore back then, it's not the pants they wore now. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of the pants are being instituted into this Babylon system that we have. It's also the ones that shouldn't actually be worn, because the problem is with this is, with me personally, with these pants, the pants are not pants anymore. The pants, I don't have an issue with women wearing pants. It's the pants that they wear now that it's always going to be an issue. You understand what I'm saying? So when you have these pants that they're putting on now, they're not pants to fall down on a woman's body. They are to reveal the woman's body. Now that will always going to be the issue with pants. It's how the pants are being pertained now to what that women wear now. You know, you see a lot of the pants that you see now are clinging to the women, and out of that, it's not culture. You understand what I'm saying? When they wore pants, they also had something that fell down on them. They just wasn't wearing pants as you see them today. But nothing over. When pants were put on up under a dress or garment or a robe, and then the garment fell down, and the pants was not being seen. What we see today is totally different than what it was in Scripture. You understand? That is totally different. Hallelujah. And so we don't see the very fact that when the pants are being worn, and Scripture-wise, like I said before, the pants that they were on then was something that went up under something. As far as now, you have the pants where they don't go, it's not up under nothing. The pants are clingy, they're revealing. They're showing a lot of the women's shape and stuff. And 90% of the time, there's a lot of this pushback when you talk about this, because these are the pants that they're fighting for to wear. You understand what I'm saying? And when you start saying, well, you know, the pants that fall down, if you're going to wear them, their pants does not pertain to your shape, showing your shape. And a lot of times, this is where you get the pushback on for a lot of Hebrews that fight for this type of thing. They fight for it because they're like, well, you know, that the pants, I don't see what's wrong with pants. There's nothing wrong with pants. Don't get the twisted. It's what pants are you wearing? And what is your motive if you put on these pants? Are these pants to get grab attention? But 99% of the time, what it is? Or do they fall down to where they're not revealing stuff and not really showing what that you really shape like? And we see that, like I said before, you see a 90% of Hebrews that fight for this are fighting for the pants that reveal, not the pants that hide. And that is where, like I said, this is where you get a lot of the pushback for. Now, I'm not against pants, because I understand what pants is, but at the same time, when you talk about pants in the Bible, those pants were put on, and the garment fell over the pants. And there's nothing outward.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? There was nothing outward, there was nothing to reveal, so to speak. Now, you know, you have this mindset, and it's somehow a Christianity church. It's where you think that, so if you want to have a problem with this, then you shouldn't be listening, so to speak. That's where we used to hear in the church. Where, of course I'm going to look. This is revealed. Of course I'm going to look. That is my nature. That don't get that twisted.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? Don't get that twisted. If you got some things to put into you, and I'm seeing your faith, and I'm seeing what you working with, of course I'm in it. Yep. So, and that is where a lot of times in the Bible that they prevent that behavior. You understand what I'm saying? And it's only instituted here in America. And any type of Western type of mindset, culture that we are into, these are the people who push for this behavior. You understand what I'm saying? Well, you have the right to wear what you want to wear. You have the right to look how you want to look. And everybody should respect that. And that's not normally the case. And sometimes because you don't always remember, let's say you see the first time you see it. If y'all see me naked, the first thing you're going to remember when you see me is that's the option was naked. And the image is already burnt in your mind, so to speak. So, it's the same scenario. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not against pants, though. So, but at the same time, it's how you wear pants.
I understand what you're saying.
And that's the problem what it's always going to be with any Hebrew Israelite that has that bitterness is how you wear it. And if you got something that just falls nicely down on your body and it's not resilient, you know what's resilient. Don't play games here. You know what's resilient. And we're not going to play that game yet. Some things you just can't have. You know, and some things you can't have, but you can wear garments to hide that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's all I'm going to say on that because, like I said before, I understand the scriptures, but Deuteronomy the 22:5 pertains to a man and wants to pertain to a man, whatever, you know, as far as the scriptures on. Yes, that's understandable. We know what the garment is, but we know what the crime is. And 239 is not the words in the Bible. It didn't work. That is not that. The 239 will institute rebellion, lust, and sin, basically. That's what it all is you see now. Now, you got cute pants out there that's cute. They're really cute, but at the same time, what is the motive why you wear it? That's what always be the first thing. What are your motives when you keep those on? Are you doing it for attention? Or return to merit? Or are you just wearing them just because you got them on? And by the certain times, this is where they're always going to, like I said, they're always going to be the pushback. The pushback is always going to be these the pants that are fighting to wear. And it's not the ones with the scriptures face on. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
All right, this pretty stop. I was hearing some echoes. I might want to mute the phone. I was muting mine and let you get ready to say something because I think the phone was feeding back in when we got it on speaker. So just mute it and you can leave it on speaker. That's what I was doing in mine. But I guess we had a pretty good topic because I think we kind of said the same but a little bit different. What Brother Ezekiel was just saying about the pants, I'm against pants for women. I don't think there can be any pants that's not revealing on a woman. If
Hello.
or should not look at a woman.
Shalom, people, Tim.
Shalom. Somebody's talking on call, and if you can mute your phone. My brother's speaking right
Okay.
on the phone. Shalom.
Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Like, I don't think you can have it. Yahshua says that we're supposed to, if you look upon a woman with lust in your heart, you have committed adultery with her already. A pants are clothing and shows a woman's figure regardless of how, you wear them. And the way they wear them today, when we deal with the thing of the breeches, they were definitely under the robe, but you have to also look at the fact that was only sold to a man. So now those breeches have gotten longer and the robe has come off. Just like you see in that church. It used to be the pastor had a 3-piece suit, but that was under the robe. After the road came off, and now it's just food. Well, the same thing has happened when you talk about these pants. You got women wearing tights. Their underwear. They are draw tickets. Women wore those under their dresses. Now the dress has come off, and then she's left with the tights. That's not even pants. So now you got women out in public. And it won't just be the woman. The woman will be there, or she will be there. All of them will be walking in underwear. And when you consider this whole thing of pants, I like what Brother Ezekiel was saying about that this is Western culture. When you even look back, it's not even Western culture that long. You go back 50 years, people wearing pants. And you can even, it's time that even the police ladies wore dresses. This is a recent thing of wearing the pants, and it's all about blurring the lines. I also agree with what Brother was saying about making the men more effeminate, but it works both ways. They're making the men less manly and making the woman more manly. And how do you do that? Put the woman in pants and put the man in skinny jeans, pink, things that make clothes now for men that's got lace and these blue things on them, and these are so-called made, and these in the men's section now. This is new. They got a romper. Now dudes are walking around with one piece on. This is the new. Will Superkid had on a skirt. So when you get, and we talking thigh length here, and we have to consider something. They're blurring the lines, and set up different codes for men than it did for women. He said, man was created for Yahweh's glory. The woman was created for the man's glory. They can't be the same. Or there's something wrong with the order. Yahweh said, let us make man in our image. But then, he said, it's not good for the man to be alone. Let us make a helpmeet for him. So the man was made for Yahweh's glory. The woman was made for the man. So when you consider how Yahweh has us to look, women don't have facial hair. But then Yahweh put it in his word that a man is not supposed to cut his. Automatically, a man and a woman is not supposed to look alike. But what this culture has pushed is clean-shaven face, men getting pedicures and facials, so that the man is smooth-faced, just like the woman. Leviticus 19:27 says, you shall not round the corners of your head, neither shall you mar, which is cut, the corners of your beard. First thing corporate America is going to tell you to cut that hair off your face. And depending on what kind of job you got, they'll come straight to you and say, what's that on your lip? So this push to make a man more effeminate and the dress code of wear a shirt and tie and then tuck the shirt in. So when you deal with even wearing the pants and think about that, a lot of men are not wearing it right because your loins are supposed to be covered. If I see your belt, this is wearing the pants right because your loins are supposed to be covered. So corporate America says, tuck that shirt in. Well, then that means your privacy, your loins are already out showing. And then with the woman wearing pants, that is exactly doing that same thing. So we have to understand that this is also a part of Gentile culture, where they blur the line of male and female. We have the whole baphomet is a mix of male and female body parts. So it's completely okay for them to blur those lines. We've seen the commercials of the Trojan condom commercial. And it comes on Trojan, man, and they talk about filthy comments. But when you research the Trojan, you find out that at 12 years old, they're given a boy. And that boy is taken out of the woods, and they can molest the boy, they can do whatever they want, and they train the boy how to be a soldier. When they go to war, they're not just fighting for their comrade, they're fighting for their boy lover. And when that one gets older, he gets the boy. And then you understand when you look at what happens in Catholicism, how it's just complete okay for them to be with these boys. You would think if you got 50 priests that have been brought up on charges, why are there still people going to these churches? Because that's their culture. Even if you think about, I don't know how many of y'all seen the movie Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was, they gave the history about it, and it was about, Wonder Woman was on a lesbian island.
Oh, wow.
And when you look at the movie, it shows all the sisters look good or whatever. And then the Wonder Woman starts talking about men and women, and she said, men are only used for reproduction, not so much for fun. Which is the same thing that the Trojans use. They use the women for reproduction, but have fun with the boys. Now, how do you get that close to that? Is you blur the lines. You make the woman more manly, and you make the man less manly. And you keep blurring those lines, and it eventually does those things. So the breeches that were given unto man get longer, and the overcover came off. Which is the same thing that happened to the tight. Women wear tight to keep themselves together so that all their innards won't be jiggling. And see, if people don't know anything about that, see, there's a couple of sisters that done pull some other sisters aside in our congregation because, you know, they jiggling all over the place. And back in the day, there were sisters who, like, you ask a young girl what a flip is, it's not going to be no sex. A flip is something that's fit under the dress. So even when you deal with dresses, there are some people that's not even fixed dress right, because there was a undercovering that so that it didn't show you the skin. If you show every curve of your body, it is going to lead to certain thoughts. And those are the things that are happening. So Yahweh has a totally code. The man supposed to look like the woman. My face ain't supposed to be as smooth as my mother's face. My hair, according to what's written, my hair ain't supposed to be long as on my woman's face. See, there's in 1 Corinthians, it says, does not even nature teach you that if a man have long hair, it's a shame unto him. But if a woman have long hair, it's glory unto her. Now, we know that when a brother had locks, so they were going through a vow, then of course they didn't cut their hair until the vow was over. Now, we have longer and longer, but brothers are not having vows for those locks. They're just wearing locks. And those locks get long and longer and longer. Now, it says, if you read Ezekiel 44 and verse 20, when it's talking about the priests, it says, neither shall they shake their heads, nor suffer their locks to go long. They shall only hold their heads. So they give it a decent cut, but they don't cut it all off, and they don't let it grow too long. So it's one of those things of how we start one way, and after time, those things kind of get out of the norm of where it was. So if you're with them, and you can see that in each one of these conversions, that we operated one way. When I was little, you know, there was stuff, but those thugs were respectful. If the old lady came out the house, who was about to kill each other, they would stop and wait. You know, so the ladies went back in the house. These ain't respectful, but as every generation gets worse. So what we're calling pan Give it one more generation and see what we're dealing with. Every generation is going to get worse. Now they got see-through pants. People sit around like they got on a ziplock bag.
Right.
It gets worse and worse and worse. And at the end of the day, you're naked. If I can see every curve on your body, you are naked. And we know what happened to King David when he saw that naked woman that he wasn't supposed to see. He went all hell, head over heels in lust. Once he saw her nakedness, he was not able to turn back. They told him, this is Uriah's wife. He said, bring her to me. Because he saw her nakedness and it led him to sin. And we keep wondering why we end up in these situations. It's because of the more and more that we see. The more and more we see. And it leaves you. I've gotten to the point where even when I greet women now, I don't really let them hug me. I don't hug them. Because, according to the scripture, it says, greet the brother with a hug kiss. But what happens is, sisters will come up and embrace, and I've learned and I've watched the situations grow out of that. So, in my congregation, the brothers embrace, the sisters embrace, but I don't embrace no sisters, and other brothers don't embrace sisters. We greet them, we shalom them, we give them a head nod and a slight bow of the head, but we don't touch them because those very things of touching one another, looking at all the body parts, it leads to sin sooner or later. And that's all I got to say.
Okay. I agree with everything you were saying. I mean, that's absolutely true. Well, I guess we can open it up to questions now, because I believe everybody spoke on the segment that was on the call. So if anybody have any questions, that would be the time. Nobody? Okay.
Nobody.
Right. Who was that?
It sounds like Dominique.
Yeah, that's before. Okay, well, I guess that concludes the call. That's all we got.
I do want to one thing.
Okay.
In Job, Yahweh told Job twice, gird up your loins like a man.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's an interesting concept. Gird up your loins like a man. So, it really is an interesting thing that we, have to consider. What really kicks people off in the Middle East is when Westerners come wearing pants. It ticks them off when they show up, they disrespect their culture, the women show up without a head covering, they show up in pants, and it infuriates the other sons of Abraham.
Right.
It infuriates them. They are hot. They were really upset with these women Secretary of State who would come and sit down in a circle of men. Now, when you deal with that woman who would go over there, Christine Amanpour, she went over to the Middle East, and they talked to her. They let her keep coming back. Was at least trying to be respectful. But Hillary and the other black lady who was over there, I think who was Clinton or whatever put over there.
Condoleezza Rice?
Yeah. Oh man, they right up in the pants and disrespect them people, and they already didn't want to be dealing with a woman at capacity, but then to have that woman wear pants Them got on pants, but the woman got on pants. And it was really disrespectful to those people in that culture. And it's something that we're going to have to think about because we got to leave this place. Okay? So all you do here with these pants, you come up out of here, leave somebody grab your woman and kill her, and she's a whore. We got to leave this place. So we can't go here. We got to make it. And we don't know how many places to go through to get there. And if that woman is not only wearing, but is allowed to wear that, and we go through the wrong place, your woman cannot make it dry up.
I agree. Yeah. That's weird. And you know, also, I mean, with you saying that about the, Abraham of the sons, referring to the Arab nations, their culture comes from our culture. The culture we used to uphold. So
Indeed.
that's giving us, it's giving us it's giving us an outline of what we should be going back to.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And that is one of the biggest reasons that we need to leave this place, because there's so many things that we got to kick out of our minds that being in the West has basically plagued our minds with. That's why with this second Exodus coming up, he tells you that's a purification stage. Basically getting rid of all these things. And it's always better if people start working on it here, but then the main portion of that is going to take place over there, because it has to go. You can't bring out of what's going. You can't bring these things out of Babylon and expect it to fly in the kingdom. Or like you said, Brother Sark, a lot of people ain't gonna make it up in there if they don't kick it out.
Right.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. What you're saying as far as, like you say, the very fact that, the mindset starts now. And I agree with Pop saying is, that a lot of times we have a mindset that we think that what works here is going to work over there. And that's the thing that Israel has to start training themselves to understand, that outside of this Americanized, westernized culture, they don't practice it, because regardless of what America is, what you really call following the war, the city of kings, everything goes on here every day. And right. outside of that mindset, outside of the country, they don't tolerate Christianity like they do here. You understand? Because Christianity teaches us that, hey, you can do everything under the sun and still be forgiven. You understand what I'm saying? You can do everything. And you can wear what you want, like I said, you can wear what you want to wear, you can act like you want to act, you can do what you want to do, and at the same time, you still have to respect me. And a lot of those things that I teach to after Israel was coming in, it's the same scenario as, you outside of this country, these folks don't tolerate this. You want to know your place. And that's the whole big thing about it, Israel, is that you have to know your role. You have to know your place. Because a lot of those women think that you hear what America teaches against. But what's wrong, she don't have no freedom, and it's a sin that she got to cover herself up and all this other stuff. That at the same time, those countries over there, look, we don't tolerate that. You understand what I'm saying? We don't tolerate that happening in these type of clothes on, because as Pop was saying, look, man, hey, if you get over there, these folks are thinking you're one for your sister, your mother, your cousin, your auntie, you understand what I'm saying, or your daughter is a whore. And they're going to make it like that.
Exactly. They're going to deal with them like that.
Exactly.
They're going to deal with them like that. You understand that some of those, get through that we got to go through. They still stoning women, bro.
Right.
So we got to ask the way to Zion. So we got to go this thing from here to Israel, and you gotta walk, and you gonna walk any of it. You gonna die. They gonna die there. And that's really get in our head. What happens is when we get accustomed to what we see, we think it's like that everywhere. I knew a girl who I went to school with. She had like 1 million roaches in her house, right? She argued with me and told me everybody got roaches. I said, no. Because I ain't got roaches. She said, everybody got roaches. I said, no, baby. I don't have roaches. She got so accustomed to roaches. She thought that was normal in everybody's house. We didn't see so much here that we think it's normal. It's not normal. It's here and other nations that they conquered. And it wasn't even though here 2 years ago. I see my grandma and make about 2 pair of pants. And she 99.
I think like you said, it's all about the Israel, you know, for our people coming back to the understanding of what the Most High Yah was in favor of. And we, you know, just as well as we tell young ox around here, look, man, you know, you want to cover your lawn and you definitely want to pull them pants up, man. You don't want to sell your bricks. And it's the same scenario when you institute. It's the same thing when we tell, you know, sisters, you know, say like you said, you know, even the pants, hey, I agree with you. The pants have got supposed to, I think they call, I don't know what they really used to be called spandex. I don't know what they call it. Leggings, that's what it is. They call them leggings now. It used to be spandex. And, you know what I'm saying? And those areas like that, well, any daughter of Zion that's really walking in and trying to, you know, keep the laws and statutes of Yah, so that those statutes, you know, you don't put those on and wear out in public. You understand what I'm saying? But with this westernized culture that we live in, that is taught to be okay. You understand what I'm saying? Like you start to saying, you know, then you see this effeminate stuff that they're doing with men now, you know, with the skinny jeans and you know, just skinny jeans and then the whoop or whatever you call this little hot pants jumpsuit. These brothers, you know, these brothers around here wearing, that it's only pushing, but you notice that it only pushed upon our culture. You know what I'm saying? Our people, it's only pushed on us. You know, if you look at the rest outside of the world, you understand what I'm saying? Not the ones who being influenced by us. You don't see that behavior. You understand what I'm saying? You see it's pushed on us by the rebelliousness, the looking, you know, by the whores look, the gay look, all this stuff. And man, this is pushed on us. This is not pushed on the rest of the world. You understand what I'm saying? And that right there is where we at in Israel need to wake up as and look, man, we are under attack in all areas. And they're literally trying to destroy us. And the first thing they can get you to do is by destroying us is get us to rebel against the word of Yah. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where it's always going to continue to keep on from. The rebelliousness against the word, the rebelliousness against the culture, the rebellious against the way of life. That the Most High that was called when he was proud to call you his children. And that part right there is where all Israel needs to be trying to get back to. You know what I'm saying? So, things like the family be wearing it with the men. You know, get up and look at what men have to wear. We have to wear our clothing. You know the shirt length should be covering your lower. You understand what I'm saying? You know, just as well if a man sees a woman in some type of pants, and he gonna look, hey, she wanna look too. And he got to learn to be respectable of it among each other. You understand what I'm saying? And don't put ourselves in those predicaments to cause our brothers and sisters to fall.
You know what, brother? You brought up a real good point when you talk about the attack is on us with the clothing. I challenge anybody, can you mention a black designer who has a clothing line who has stayed? Have you noticed that they buy one of our clothing lines and shut down? They buy the clothing line and then the clothing line disappears. But they're buying out the stuff to make the money, they're buying it to shut down. Remember all the food, they had baggy stuff.
Yeah.
It was all baggy.
And you're not seeing it again.
Right.
You never see it again once they bought it.
Everything was baggy.
Cross colors, gone.
Wow.
They buy it and it disappears. So they're not buying it, take it over, take money. They're buying it so that we won't have anyone what they wear.
Wow. That is something. I thought of that's something right there. So I remember FUBU, and you don't see that no more.
Right. A lot of stuff you don't see.
Well, I spend $100 to buy something and shut down. Who would do that? That's not good business sense unless you're buying it and it's not about business.
Right. We see what the stuff they have now, what they got at schools today. Many of us heterosexual males will be caught dead in that.
Right. What's that new outfit they got? With the whole bodysuit, the whole one, you know.
That's what we call the rump or whatever.
Okay.
The rompers.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, so you're going to look like a baby with a onesie.
It do look like that.
Right.
I mean, completely just feminine type stuff that men wear now. Like I said, you know, I want you to say yes. Now that's one thing I won't be against. I am against anything.
Oh yeah, me too.
I don't see no more should be wearing it.
I mean, it just got, you know, it just got like, you know, worse and worse. I mean, I've seen these pants getting tight around the ankles and tight around the calves. They can't, you know, I'm like, how do men get in those pants? You know what I'm saying? And then they sag it on top of that. And you know what sagging means, right? Sagging means it's a homosexual act. It's telling another man that you want to have sex with them. So they wearing skinny jeans and sagging them.
Yep.
Yep.
I agree with that. But you know what? We have to consider when you first came out. I don't know if you remember when you were younger. The best jeans was like Levi's, right?
Right.
Levi's for pants. They became this sort of style. You know what? One type of size, maybe two. They were working. They were durable. I have some of them things called skin. See, if y'all went cold, y'all didn't. You can set something on fire. And the other thing that'll make it, some tough skins to come right out the fire. You just put a patch open, and you keep saying them tough skins. You didn't stay out tough skins. You grew out of it. That's tough. That's hard they were. They were made to be work clothing. Wasn't doing that type of work. So now jeans are just fashionable, and they've got to, you know, something totally different.
Right. Yeah, this is good, man. I think I was talking to brother Ezekiel when I said this. I'm not sure, but I said I used to watch these movies back in the day. You know, like the Back to the Future movies, and they'll be showing all these people dressed weird and weird type of feminine clothes and stuff, and you like, who gonna be dressing like that? And as we get closer, you know what I'm saying, to the end times, all that stuff they were showing then is now coming to pass. I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't believe I'm saying this. I was saying this when I was little on the movies. Like, you know.
That's wild.
Uh-huh. But yeah.
That's for that area. For that area,
And it's like I said, with me personally, I just see they only push us to wear this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And they only push us because you look around, every other area, they don't do it unless you find those areas to where the Gentiles that hang around us, so to speak. And then you see them, they wearing those type of clothes. But when they're among themselves, you don't see them wear that type of stuff. When they're among their own people, you know what I'm saying? Unless they're around us.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's how you can see the attack that it's about, the attack they have on us. I mean, these folks, man, are trying to get us out of there. And you know, half the time, it's definitely trying to get us to an area to where we need that he's going to have us to where we sell yachts. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That the Most High needs to reject us. And that's the whole mission. To get the Most High to reject us. You understand what I'm saying? So, and he will get so many, he comes at us in so many areas, you know, for mindset. And this is where the choir loud said not for Israel, for a lot of officers out here telling, look, man, Israel, we have to change. We have to change our ways. We have to change the way we think. We have to change the way we live. We have to change the way we eat. You understand what I'm saying? You keep thinking if it don't take all that. You keep thinking that. And you're going to find out that it took all that into focus. So, you know, and that's where, you know, a lot of areas where we had these conference calls that we're trying to get through. We're all going to line, look, it's all we're trying to do is wake up. Now, I know some folks reject a lot of stuff we're saying. And some folks will say, well, I don't think I ain't ready to cross that bridge yet. And, you know, but understand that some people don't even get to the bridge. So if you're thinking on crossing that bridge, you might not even get there.
Right.
You ain't able to cross it. And if you do get to the bridge, it might not even be a bridge that across. So if you can start changing today, and start, you know, changing your ways today, and start changing the way you think and act, you know what I'm saying, and live, you know, this might save your life. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. Man, yeah, I mean, the whole situation is crazy, and like I said, you know, we have to get out of this place. I mean, you know, we all know that. We see
Right.
We see what's going on. So, you know, just hopefully, you know, I pray I make it out. You know, I know y'all do the same. So, man, it's just getting worse. So.
It's definitely getting worse. And
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like you stated, and out here, Top stated, you know, look, man, hey, to go into an area to where they don't practice what we practice over here. You understand what I'm saying? That stuff would get you killed.
It sure
This
it
folks
will.
is waiting on us.
It will. You know, it will. Well, okay. Is there anything else anybody want to say on line? I don't know who, you know, maybe already, you know, clocked out already, but well, yeah, okay. Well, I guess it's been another good call, fellas. And I guess I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up.